Outers. It is an awesome day. We are a little sleep deprived. We are just going through some health challenges with one of our sons, so we've been up a lot in the night, and so we apologize for being a few minutes late getting on here today, but we're just like life. You know, it's oftentimes never totally in balance. You're shooting for goals, but it's more like a river, right? It's just winding you back and forth. So just really quick announcements before we start. Go to our YouTube channel, 10-minute time out, where all the episodes are there. You guys can forward those to friends. Thanks for watching. Comment and ask questions. The best thing that happened after the last episode was I had lots of personal Facebook messages, and Amy had lots of comments just from people around town too about things that would be of interest for you guys to be able to chat about and talk about. So
absolutely,
that's what we want to move forward with today, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We want to answer those questions that you guys might have, and they can. I mean, obviously, they're going to change and evolve as the seasons go, and as your family evolves, and that's what we want to be here for, is to provide a community where we can, you know, offer advice and wisdom if we've gone through the battle, and the knowledge that we might have on that.
Yeah, so get conversational, guys. Hop on, thumbs up, hearts, ask questions, make comments on there. That's the most important thing, is we want to be able to bring this together for you guys and for people in the community. When we talk about what this is we want to reach, we want to have greater impact beyond the four walls of our office and beyond the four walls of our house. Yes. So this week, I would say probably since we did our episode on Friday, probably the most common questions that I've had coming into my Facebook personal messages, comments, whatever it might be, would be people who want to know about food stuff, right?
Yes.
So people are saying like, hey, you guys are talking about prioritizing health, you're talking about prioritizing family, you're talking about all these sort of things. How does that practically play out? So I apologize, I'm a deeply sort of philosophical guy. I love going into theory and the heart behind things. So the last two episodes might have been a little bit heavy like that, but today we want to go practical application, literally, and talk about what's in the fridge. What do? You got 4 kids, you got a busy life, you run a professional practice, you have a couple of other companies, there's a lot obviously on the go, your kids are in activities and all that stuff. How do you make it all work? So number one question this week that's coming in is about food, options, different things like that. So what's that look like? How's that start, hon?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and I know it was freeing for me, was you can get outside the typical mealtime foods. So an example is our youngest son today asked for fresh cut veggies and hummus for breakfast, which is not normally something you would think about. And ordinarily, I would have at one point fought it and said, no. But you know what? That's a healthy option. And so it is, once you remove the typical breakfast food barriers, you get a whole nother world of food options out there. But I think the biggest things to remember is, and I know it's not new, but fresh foods, you know, if it comes from the ground, the better, okay? And if you can't get it fresh, then you can have it frozen. There's some great options at any of the local supermarkets. And having a stocked fridge. That's what I find is the biggest thing with the 4 kids, especially now that they have more independence, is they will run to the refrigerator, and if there is nothing there, that's when we run into trouble with them trying to get to the, you know, not so good options. But if there's tons of fruit in there and there's lots of veggies, our kids love hummus, so that's a big one, or baba ganoush. So if you can have those things stocked and ready in the fridge, you'll find your kids will go and get them. And I know even for ourselves, when I come home and I'm starving, I want something quick and easy, and if there's not something quick and easy, that's when you reach for something that isn't as good. My other secret is I try not to have the things that aren't good around, because they are too easy to grab. So I know they're sometimes easy for those rush out moments, so you know, little things will be there. But if you have lots of stocked fresh veggies and fruits, that's one of my biggest things that I found makes a difference for the kids.
Yeah, so, and the other thing too is where we fall down the most personally as a family is if we don't plan, right?
Yes.
So if the whole day went and it was crazy and there wasn't something pulled out or whatever it might be for dinner, if there wasn't a bit of a strategy or a plan, that's where we're likely just to be like, man, got to order pizza or got to do something that's just quick and ultimately not the best for us. So having some plan, some foresight, right? You would grocery shop multiple times a week. There's no questions that you're in and out of there a lot, picking up different things, trying to keep the house stocked with good stuff. Again, it comes back to those last few episodes, right? Prioritizing your health means that you're willing to spend more time, for example, say going to the grocery store picking up food, than you are, committed to sitting around at night watching Game of Thrones or whatever it is that you're watching, right? Nothing wrong with that, but at the same token, you can't do that without having the other stuff going on. So practical applications there. Freezers always stocked with tons of frozen berries, right? One of the general rules in our house is we want to keep sugar intake to an ultra low minimum, right? Obesity is epidemic, diabetes is epidemic, right? Hey guys, there's so much stuff that's going on out there that's actually just fueled by sugar. Cholesterol, even believe it or not, cholesterol levels are primarily fueled by sugar. So we're trying to peel back as much as we can on the sugars, the foods that break down as sugar. So for example, a bagel breaks down in your body a lot like a chocolate bar would. So trying to keep those things out of the house. So freezers stocked with things like frozen berries. Fridge is always stocked with things that are not crazy labor intensive, but like even vegetables. You would try to have like a lot of those pre-made salad mixes, right? Where at lunch, you're just grabbing a fistful of this pre-made salad mix, getting it onto a plate, and then all you're doing is just adding some stuff to it, right? Like you're not necessarily always having to,
cut and wash
and do all that sort of stuff, right? So convenience for busy households, convenience is definitely, hey, Court, how are you, buddy? Convenience is a super important thing. So in terms of that, that's a couple of really important strategies. We always have, typically during the week, especially on the weekend, we would do something like roast a whole chicken, bigger than we would normally want as a family, or we'd roast 2 small ones if that was the case, just for the foresight of saying, hey, through the week, we're going to be able to pull some chicken off of the bone here and have that in other ways, right?
We do that a ton to add to salads, which is great because you can always just add that cold, or we'll rewarm it a little bit and have it with the kids for lunch, which is great. And then you can use the bones, which we do all the time, and use the bones from the chickens and make a broth and then a soup, which is fantastic for those nights when you're in and out really quickly. Soups are lifesaver. Lots of thermos soups and chilies, which make it really great for kids to go that. And the frozen foods, like the fruits in there, especially as your kids get older, I find our kids will make smoothies all the time. And if you kind of teach them and you have the proper healthy ingredients on hand, then they will start to make that second nature. So again, they'll come home and say, hey, can I make a smoothie? And then it's kind of fun because they get to be the little experimenter and put new fruits and different things into their smoothies and make it and see whose is better. But it's all healthy stuff, and it's stuff that they can have fun with, and then they're getting the right nutrition. Yeah,
so our rule as a family is we try to follow this format that was laid out for us by a guy named Dr. Dan Pompa. He's super smart. If you want to look him up, it's Dan Pompa, P-O-M-P-A. He's got great resources for health, detoxification, all kinds of cool stuff. So in terms of that, we try to eat amazingly 5 days of the week is really what our goal is 5 days of the week to be absolutely meticulous with our food choices. One day of the week, we typically have some fun. We got this great homemade donut place, 20 minutes away. We love to go pick up some of that stuff and have fun with the kids. So we have an element of fun in there too, as well as far as that goes. But just real quick, because I know we want some practical application. Breakfast smoothies. Put in tons of frozen berries. They're low in sugar. Jam it full of some type of a green vegetable. Your kids won't even know what's in there. Jam it filled with, spinach or kale or something like that.
We often have sprouts on hand too, which are really great because they go in there and blend up really nicely.
Take a pair of scissors, cut off the sprouts and throw them in. We'll throw in there something like pumpkin seeds, which is great for bringing the fiber up, and it's a great detoxifier in the body. Coconut, strawberries, cherries, blueberries, raspberries, all those things there. Now, other things for breakfast, our kids are not that old, 12, 10, and 8. My 8-year-old can crack a couple of eggs and scramble some eggs for himself in the morning too, right? So those are awesome breakfast ideas. Kefir, which is fermented dairy, which is really high in probiotics. We'll mix that in with some plain yogurt, add in some natural vanilla, a few other things in there that the kids might
will add that to their smoothies as well, which gives it a nice tang, which they really like.
Right. So there's tons of great strategies there. Moving beyond breakfast, this is where some of the night before dinner stuff comes into place. So that roasted chicken that you roasted, you're able to peel that off the bone. Our kids love seaweed wraps. So we always have nori sheets, N-O-R-I, nori sheets on hand. Those nori sheets get stuffed with lots of different stuff, right?
Like cut up vegetables. Well, you know, you can make which is really fun for them. Just cut up all kinds of vegetables. If you've got the chicken there, you can have chicken. If you have fish left over, we'll often have some salmon left over, so we'll use that. And then they can create their own kind of pseudo sushi minus the rice, and they love doing that. So that's always fun. There's also a great paleo option, which is the coconut wraps, which are fantastic and delicious. I know I've pinned those and posted those on Instagram as well, and they are delicious. And so Matt and I will often eat those, and the older two love them as well.
Yeah, so typical lunches would be like soup that was made from the whole chicken bones that you roasted on the weekend. That soup would sit around and be there for 3 days. Kids would just grab it and they would eat it, and it's super nutrition. If anybody, you know, just wants even a small cup of it for breakfast, it's such a great thing, especially on a cool damp morning. So you'd have, you know, the soups there. Amy makes an awesome turkey chili, which is so great, right? That'll sit around for a day or two, and the kids will eat that, and we'll pull off of that for lunches. We love the seaweed wraps. You throw anything in there. You can throw fermented kimchi. You can throw in sauerkraut. You can put in egg salad. You can put in all kinds of different stuff into those seaweed wraps.
A little hot sauce for us.
Yeah, all it is you're just replacing your bread from the wrap with seaweed, and the kids love it, right? So that's great. And then tons of cut up vegetables. Just have a plethora of that stuff out on the counters all the time for the kids to be able to enjoy. Then they're not walking in the pantry saying, you know, looking for garbage and trash all the time. There's just, you know, a cut up platter of vegetables that's almost like, you know, on display all the time for the kids to walk by and pick at. Keep them well hydrated, because if you're well hydrated, you're less likely to think you're hungry. You're actually, a lot of times when you're hungry, you're actually just dehydrated. So keep that going there too. Then for dinner is always basically got a salad element to it, which again is you know, quick, those pre-washed greens.
100%. Everyone, I think, I know there's the dreaded lunches, but then dinner is something that I feel like people get so overwhelmed with, and they want like the fancy recipes. And I'm not a slow cooker. I wish I was, but I'm not. I'm not.
I'm not a slow cooker guy. I don't wish she was a slow cooker.
I just have never gotten into it. So my meals have to be able to be efficient, quick, and make sure that they are healthy. So we do usually some sort of a protein, and then it's
fish, chicken,
beef. Yep, we do eat beef. And then we'll do a vegetable. We'll usually, like the kids will love roasted broccoli right now, or roasted asparagus. We'll usually do a good amount of a roasted vegetable, and then a salad to go along with it. So it is not complicated. I am not doing a ton other than cutting it up, throwing a little bit of seasoning on it, and roasting it in the oven. The protein, whatever it might be, making sure that one's cooked up, and then a salad, which is quick and easy. And usually now I get the oldest two, to kind of help me prep for that. So it can be extremely efficient, and then you know that your kids have eaten really healthy without having to go to all kinds of labor. So don't make it complicated. Just try to stick to the basics, and you've got great meals.
Yeah, so strategies. 1, stock your fridge. Keep your pantry stocked, keep your fridge stocked, keep your freezer stocked with all that stuff, right? Then you're going to have the options available. You're not going to need takeout as much, right? Second strategy there is a little foresight with dinner. You got to pull something out in the morning, whether it's the fish or whatever it is, to make sure that you're ready to rock there. And then the third thing is that if you have those things in place, like the vegetables cut up, all that sort of stuff, you're just more prepared, right? You got to be a little bit prepared to try to hit those goals. I always say to Amy, like, we have the goal, we have the actual vision of where we want to be. We're going to loosely have some action steps in place, but we also know God's going to weave that path in crazy ways, right?
You got to be flexible.
Yeah, we're done with striving for balance. We actually know balance doesn't exist, right? There's seasons in life. You're all over the place. We're now more like the river, where the river just goes and weaves back and forth, but it's always flowing, right? That's the key, is it's always flowing, right? We're created for growth. We're hardwired to be the best we can. You guys are too. So step into your greatness We hope you guys have an awesome few days. We'll see you on Friday with our next 10-minute timeout. Ciao.
Bye.
Hey, comment. If you want resources, comment at the bottom.
Absolutely.
Feel free to ask for recipes, resources, internet websites, whatever the case is. We will get back to you. Love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye.